Good morning, it's Trixie. How are we doing? I hope we're all good. A little bit of a different one for you today. Sorry, I'm just cleaning my glasses. So, as you can see, I'm not looking my best, but it's all fine. I decided today, I keep going on about how this channel is a real channel. And it is real, and everything we talk about is real, and I keep it real, and I'm just me. But I always put makeup on, I always do my hair, and today I haven't. Today, my hair needs washing, and if I'm quite honest, I couldn't be bothered. I've woken up and I can't be bothered. So my hair is greasy as F-U-C-K. I've got a cold sore, how it is. I have no makeup on whatsoever. You can see I have got blemishes. I have got spots galore. I have put no makeup on whatsoever. Not even the eyebrows, lipstick, nothing. This is my face, washed and fresh. And it's mainly because I just decided I wanted to do a vlog, but I didn't want to do all the makeup and all the stuff to get ready. And you can cross off now if you don't want to watch it. But I always said I'm going to keep it real, and this is real. We don't always put makeup on. We don't always do our hair. Our hair's not always sparkly clean. I mean, this literally has been scragged back this morning, and that's how it stayed. And outfit of the day, I've got a nice little grey jumper on with my little bows. I have got some leggings on, cozy leggings. I've got my slippers on, and I've got my Trixie t-shirt, necklace, and that's it. And it's not what you see on the internet, is it? All these people that do vlogs and look beautiful and their homes are immaculate and everything, it's not real life, not really. Well, it maybe is for them, but not for everybody. And as you know, my house is always a mess in the background. You can always see lots and lots of clutter or maybe some washing. But normally before I come on camera, I put makeup on to cover up these blemishes. And, you know, look at the dark circles under the eyes. This is me without anything on, and it's not very pretty. And we're not always pretty. We're not always looking our best. But I wanted to do this one today. It's quite an important one. I'm going to say there's trigger warnings because it contains probably stuff that people might find sad, but stuff I want to talk about. So if you're not into wanting to feel sad or not wanting to hear a bit of a story of some of my life, you can fast forward, because at the end I am going to put in a tiny SHEIN haul, mainly because I want to cheer myself up at the end. So I've got that little haul. You can hear there's some bells in there for sure. So if you don't want to listen to the next bit of me rambling on, which I'm going to try and keep to a minimum, you're more than welcome to fast forward to the end of the video where we have the SHEIN haul bit. But without further ado, I'm just going to get on with it. So today is February the 9th. It's significant to me because it is a day that I lost my dad. So my dad died at 46 years old on the 9th of February. I'm just sort of, I have a book here which I'm going to kind of show you a little bit, which I haven't dug out for a while. So it was on the 9th of February. I'm going to get the year wrong because it's something that I, to be fair, the year is something that I forget about because one year is the same as another, to be fair, for me. I'm just trying to look here to see if I have, yes I do. Okay, that might help me. So the year was 2002. So the only reason I can tell you that is because this is my dad's grave. So all the beautiful flowers. Yeah, so it was a while ago now, and I want to just talk about it really briefly because it kind of, I touched on it the other week. And I kind of feel like it's a story that needs to be told because people have things in their life and they go through things, and this is something our family went through. So I'm going to give you a tiny bit of a backstory, a quick bit of what happened, and maybe how we dealt with it as a family. So my dad did his main job. He was a sales rep, building for a building company, and sold bricks, believe it or not. And to make a few extra pennies, he used to always do an evening job, because he had me and my 3 sisters, so we were a family of 6, and he had to support us. So the job that he used to do in the evening was, well, he did a cleaning job for a school, he did a cleaning job for a bakery at one point, and then that changed to being a doorman. And you think of a doorman or security as being like, you know, you have to be a certain type of man or a certain type of person to do that. My dad was built, he was quite a short man, but he was built fairly well. And it was his friend that owned the company, the security company. So he offered my dad a job, which he used to do every Friday evening. And he used to do things like, and it was always quite local stuff. And I'd say quite tame stuff. When I say that, it wasn't like big nightclubs out there or anything like that. It was local pubs or, yeah, in fact, I did a stint at being security for McDonald's. They used to have security on the door at one point in Cambridge for a little while, and my dad did that. But no, this particular night, my dad was doing security, and he'd been doing it for quite a few years, and he made a lot of friends through it. And it was just for a local it's a university in Cambridge, and he was doing it with one of his friends, and they'd been doing it for, I'd like to say about a year. And it was just a student bar, just a nice calm bar. And you know, nothing ever happens. They do karaoke in the bar. It's all loads of students, and it's a nice, easy way to earn some pennies. Now, this particular night, my dad didn't want to go to work because he'd got my sister's little baby at home. She just had a baby, so it was a few weeks old, and my mum and dad were babysitting. So my dad kind of wanted to stay at home with my mum to babysit. But he thought, oh, a few extra pennies will help, because the money that he generally earned from that would be his pocket money, which he'd spend on us kids or grown-up kids and my mum as treats. So he didn't particularly want to go, but he decided to go, and left my mum at home looking after baby. And everything was normal. We all got on with, you know, we do our normal things. And I'll start from the morning. I woke up to the phone ringing. Really early in the morning, early hours. I'm not going to be able to remember the time frames because it's something that you don't always remember. But my husband answered the phone, and he came off the phone, and obviously the phone ringing that time in the morning, you just think, well, that's, you know, it was literally early hours, so we were all asleep. When I say all asleep, my husband and I and my baby at the time. She's not a baby anymore, but she was a baby back then. And my husband came off the phone, and I knew from his face something was wrong, and he basically just told me that I can't remember the exact words, but something's happened with my dad and that we needed to go. And then he went into the other room and phoned his mum to ask if she could look after our baby, because it was middle of the night. So with that, I got dressed very hurriedly, but knew something was off and something was really wrong, you know, for us to have to be going to the hospital at this time, and that there'd been some kind of, you know, accident or something. So we dropped the baby off with mother-in-law, and on the drive over to the hospital, all I can remember is just this feeling of dread. And when I say that, it's you know, real dread. I knew something was changing in my life. And as we sat in the car, we parked at the accident emergency, and before I got out of the car, I just felt, and I said to myself, as of today, your life's never going to be the same again. I just had a gut feeling. Anyway, we walked into A&E, and one of the nurses came over, and she said, oh, hello, are you one of Martin's daughters? And I thought that was very strange for someone that didn't know me to ask if I was one of these daughters. And I said yes. And then she took me. And as we were walking, I thought we were going to go to a ward and see my dad. We went to a room which said family room on it. And I think I just knew. So I opened the door, and my mum was already in there. And like I said, very vague, but I think my sisters were both in there. 2 of my sisters. One of my sisters, my little sister, was actually at university quite far away in Manchester, so she wasn't there. She was totally oblivious to all of this at this stage. And when I went in, my mum stood up, I don't remember a lot of this, it's quite vague, but she just basically said that Dad's gone. And all I remember is screaming and collapsing to my knees in the way that you'd see it on a film, you know. I literally just collapsed to my knees. And then the rest is a bit of a blur, but my mum basically told us that my dad had died whilst at work. And it was all a very big shock. Yeah, and basically what, you know, long story short, and I could go into this in great detail, but I went to see my dad because I was asked if I wanted to see him, and I went to see him, and he was very peaceful. He was on a hospital bed, and he just looked asleep. He looked normal. There was nothing, you know, he just looked asleep. And obviously, because he'd only just passed away, I held his hand and he just felt normal. You know, the same as I'm holding my hand here, apart from it. Well, you know, it had only been sort of not very long, so he was normal to touch. And it was very sad, but also very comforting. And we all sat around his bed and talked and, you know, looked at him. And it's a bit surreal. You can't actually take in that that's actually real. And a funny moment from there, well, it's not really funny, but at the time it was hilarious, was that I took my dad's hand to hold it. And when I went to put his hand back on the bed, it wouldn't stay on there, obviously because he'd passed away. There was no room, and it just kept flopping. And I was like, I started having this kind of like really jokey like moment where I was just like laughing about it, and my sisters were laughing, and we were walking back to the room laughing. And it's just a very bizarre thing, but I remember it really clearly. I went back to the room, and my mum had to phone a couple of family members and stuff, but I just also remember at that time was when we had the policeman come in and introduce himself as our family liaison officer, and telling us that they were treating this as a murder / manslaughter investigation, and that it had all been cordoned off, and that the police were investigating and looking for witnesses. And at that point, it was all in the news and everything, and just unbelievable, really, that this had happened to us. And so basically my dad died of a heart attack, but the heart attack was brought on from an assault. He was assaulted, and that assault and the sudden assault and the stress of the assault had led to this, is what we were told. So this is why there was a murder / manslaughter case investigation. And really, there's so many details that I could fill in between that, and maybe I will in time. But during this time, we were all just very numb. You know, what can I say? It was in the newspapers, and I've got the newspaper cuttings here actually. And we weren't allowed to have a funeral like we would all have a funeral for your loved ones, because they needed to, we wanted a cremation, and they needed, we weren't allowed to cremate my father. Or my father, he's my dad, father. My dad, we weren't allowed to cremate him because in case they needed the body for forensic evidence. And that is as clear as day as what it was. So it becomes not just a death, but it is a forensic, it's everything to do with an investigation. So we were told that if we wanted to do a cremation, which we did, that we'd have to wait until the police had finished with my dad. So he died on February the 9th, and we didn't actually have the funeral until, I do believe it was the April. So it was a couple of months. The funeral was actually on Friday the 19th of April, looking at this. So quite a few months afterwards. So it's a long time left in limbo, really. And all the rest of the time was police investigation. We'd have the family liaison officers round, and we'd all gather at my mum's and be told all, you know, new bits of evidence, various things. But yeah, to cut a long story short, my dad was asked by the manager of the bar if they could ask this man to leave. And this man in particular wasn't a student. It was actually a student's brother who was a lot older than what a student would be, and he had gone there for the night, for the weekend. So only gone to the student bar with his brother and someone else, and he'd been going out in Cambridge all night, all the different bars and pubs, causing wherever he was a scene, you know, getting into fights and stuff. So obviously the police found all of this out through investigating and going and, you know, doing what they needed to do from witnesses. So by the time he got to the student bar where my dad was working as a doorman, he was completely intoxicated and had already caused lots of trouble. Well, he had poured a drink over somebody's head. So the manager of the bar asked my dad if can you ask him to leave? So my dad, being my dad, and part of his job was someone that couldn't talk situations down. He's not a fisty person or a fighty person. He tried to talk the situation down, asked the man if he could leave, and the man was quite nice about it and said, yes, I'll just finish my drink. So my dad walked out with him, and as they got through some doors out of the sight of everybody else, normally you'd have two doormen walking someone out, but his friend who he worked with had to go and deal with something else that was going on. So my dad was on his own, and as he walked out with this particular man, and out of sight was when the man turned on my dad and started attacking him and basically assaulted him. And what we then see, because it all went to court, was CCTV cameras capturing it, and you see my dad falling out of the doors with this man on top of him. My dad not fighting back at all. You can see it all in the CCTV. It was just this man totally on my dad, fighting him, all of this. And my dad gets up and sort of like calms the situation, and the man is asked to leave, and other people come to the rescue, and eventually the man does leave with his friend. After a bit of coming back and then leaving, he does go. And it's at that point, it's still all captured on CCTV. And then my dad sits on a wall and asks if he can have a drink because he's not feeling particularly well. So someone goes off to get a drink, and then that's the point where my dad actually collapses, and an ambulance is called. And unfortunately, by the time the ambulance got there, they did work on him, but they couldn't save him. So, and the reason why I say it wasn't just like a heart attack, like if someone has one and you're at home and, you know, you're at home with your loved ones, aren't you? And even though it's an awful thing for anyone to pass away or to die or to have a heart attack, was that my dad was somewhere away from home, not with any of us. There was no warning, so it was quite a shock. And the fact that if this assault hadn't happened, then my dad wouldn't have been so stressed and it wouldn't have resulted in this heart attack. And the reason I kind of know that as well is that there was a pathologist, because he had to have a post-mortem, and the pathologist felt that it was the assault and the attack that caused my dad to, you know, be stressed and have a heart attack. And there was obviously signs of being assaulted because he had bruises and stuff all over his body and injuries. So the police wanted to push for investigation. It wasn't us as a family. They felt that if this assault hadn't happened, that my dad would still be here, or would have been here still. So the police were very strong about wanting to push for an investigation, and that's what happened. But they wanted to go for murder or stroke manslaughter, which is what it was in the end. It was a manslaughter charge, because they felt so strongly about it. If we'd gone for an assault charge, he would have got done for an assault basically, but we didn't. It was the police. We took their advice and we applied to the court to go to trial, and it went to trial a whole year later. So we'll move a year on and it goes to trial, and we go to court every day for 2 weeks. It was a 2-week-long trial, and the family liaison officers, the police officers that were working with us as a family, hired a minibus and took us all, because we're a big family, every day to Norwich Crown Court for 2 weeks. And we went into that court every day for 2 weeks. There's so many more details I can give, and I know a lot of it, and I could, you know, I've often thought about writing it all down. But one thing we were told not to do is react as a family, because the jury would be watching us. So at any point, just don't say anything, don't do anything, just sit and be quiet, which we did. But when it was time for it all to be, the jury to read the verdict, the judge kind of read us summing up. And the way the judge summed up was, if you can't 100% be sure or guarantee that Mr. Martin Fletcher, my dad, if he couldn't have dropped dead of a heart attack at any time, then you can't convict this man of manslaughter. And that was really hard, because a judge saying that to a jury, if I was a jury member, I can't say 100% whether my dad would have dropped dead of a heart attack at any time. I can't say that I won't. I can't say that you won't. I can't say that anybody. You can't say 100% that you don't think, you know, at the end of the day, that that person's not going to pass away of a heart attack. Nobody knows. So in the way he led that to the jury, if you can't be sure that he couldn't have dropped dead, then you can't convict this man. So it was not guilty. So the man was let off. That's hard, but I understand the jury and why they went with that. But the sad thing is, if we had gone as a family and pushed for assault charge, he would have 100% got a criminal record for that, because there was evidence of it. You've got the evidence of the CCTV, you had the evidence of my dad's body and what was, you know, what had happened, and he would have got a criminal record for that. But because we'd gone for manslaughter and he got found not guilty, you can't then do a lesser charge. So that therefore means we couldn't then say, well, actually do him for assault. So he was able to walk free. And the hardest part, it was hard going to court and sitting there listening to the way that they cross-examine and try and blacken people's names and make people look awful, and, you know, and all sorts of things. The amount of things I could tell you about that trial. But the worst bit was when he was found not guilty, his family just all got up in court and started, you know, which I think, a man's died. So whether you're that family member and you're happy that your son, brother, whatever, has got off a charge, you don't turn around and start behaving like that in a court when there is a family of someone that has sadly passed away. And I looked over at the jury, and at that point I could see that they were just like, what have we done, kind of thing. That's how it felt, because they saw the way that that family jeered and the way that they acted in court. And what did we do as a family? We sat quietly, we said nothing, we got up and walked out, you know, with dignity and pride and everything else that would come with it. And it was a hard time, but boy, has that made us strong as a family and as individuals. If we can get through what we got through, we can get through absolutely anything. It's probably hard to listen to that story. I don't find it hard to say it, because I've lived it and it's part of my life. It's part of what's, you know, my dad, the ending of my dad's story, and the beginning of the rest of our life without him. But I take a lot from it. I take the fact that I have got the best family in the world and we're all very close, and my mum and dad created all of us, and we've all gone on and had children, and we've got a beautiful family. And I can only thank my mum and dad, and my mum, and how well she's dealt with this, considering her husband was so young. They were both 46 years old. My mum is only 68 now, so she's still very young, and my dad's been passed away all that time. But I'm going to show you really, really briefly my scrapbook, and it really is a scrapbook. But I have all the cards in here that I was given when my dad passed, which I might sit and read later, being the anniversary. But also in here, just very briefly, is just a little bit, and it's hard to show you, just a little bit of the paper cuttings from the newspapers. I mean, it was all in the radio, on the radio and on the TV. But like, and then obviously the trial, you can see how much there was. I kept it all of this. Yeah. It's unbelievable, really is. And then we have this. This was from the funeral. Look at that beautiful picture of my dad. He was such a lovely, kind, beautiful person. Martin Fletcher, 1956 to 2002. Fletch, to meet him once was to remember him forever. Order of service was king of the road. for his funeral, we walked into King of the Road by Roger Miller because it was his favourite karaoke song. We then had a reading. We also then had a song, which was, I've got it written in here, Have I Told You Lately That I Love You by Rod Stewart. And this song was close to my mum's and dad's heart and expresses how the family felt about him. And then at the end we had a Puff Daddy, Missing You, because the words said it all really. I've got in here a message to our dad, which I'm going to read because it's been a few years since I read it. And this was what one of us read out at my dad's funeral. To talk about our dad is so hard. We miss him. He was our world. Everything we all have achieved in our lives was down to him. We wouldn't be who we are without him. We are proud that he was our dad. We just hope he'll be looking down on us all and be proud of what we achieve in the future. Dad, you didn't have to do much to make us happy and secure. Knowing you were there was enough. How can we sum up a person who meant everything in our lives? It's simple. He was honest, reliable, loving, caring, funny, mischievous, calm. Mischievous. Who'd get funny? Who do I get that from? Understanding, sensitive, helpful, and not forgetting handsome or scrummy, as Mum would say, to name but a few. He was very handsome. Dad, you have touched many hearts and helped so many people. We were spoilt not just by the material things, but also by the love and support you gave us all. We only wish that his 2 grandchildren, Millie Munchkins and Zackadoobie, as he would call them, could have known him the way we did. We will keep him in their little hearts. I'm sure they know he's there for them, and he has been for us through the years. To the best dad in the world, you are unique, irreplaceable. We love you forever, and you are always in our thoughts. Sleep tight, Dad. He's now got 10 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. So, wow. So that was, and then we asked for flowers at the funeral. We wanted to see flowers. And boy, they had to put an extra hearse on just for the flowers. And we went back the next day and took pictures of the flowers. And this is just some of them. It was insane, the amount of flowers, but it was beautiful. There's some more here. My dad loved Disney. And we actually did take some of the flowers and have them in our garden for a while. I've also got in here, as well as all of the jargon, newspaper things, this piece of paper. I'm going to not let you actually read it. This was written when I got a phone call. I was at my mum's from the pathologist who did the post-mortem on my dad. And I jotted this down while he was telling me on the phone. And it basically says that what he felt that my dad died from. And then all of this is just other stuff that we wrote down about Dad so that we could write our little eulogy or whatever you call them to him. And then, yeah, more newspaper cuttings. So I'm going to leave you with that. And that's just a little story. So today being February the 9th, I just wanted to finally say the story. I don't know if I'll upload this. It depends how brave I feel. Firstly, because I look so flipping shocking, but secondly, because it's quite a big story to tell. And I've been very careful not to name names, although it's all in the newspaper and everything. So I could. It's not like I've not said anything that didn't happen. But yeah, I just love my mum so much. I love my sisters and my whole family. I'm so proud of my family. So proud of me and my family for getting through. I'm so proud that I've managed to tell you this story without having a tear. I might do a more in detailed one day. If it can help just one person, if there's any one of you out there, even just one person going through a little bit of something like that, then my heart goes out to you because I know exactly how it feels. Anyone passing away is a horrible thing. Anyone losing a member of their family or a friend, but when it's in such tragic circumstances and has a police investigation wrapped around it, it's a whole different battle. It's a whole different ball game, guys. Anyway, I am fine. Today's always a hard day for me. I'm always glad when February the 9th has gone. I think a lot about my dad today. I think very fondly of him. I think about all my family, but I also thank a lot of thanks, not just sadness, but a lot of thanks for what I have actually got. And I'm very lucky to have what I've got. So I'm going to sign off with that. It's my beautiful little dada. Love you, Dad. Right. That's the sadness out of the way. Not that it's sad. It's just giving you a little bit of insight into Trixie's life, really. A little bit of Trixie's, you know, sadness or stuff that kind of is there, but maybe you don't see, because we're all good at hiding it, aren't we? We're all good at living and having these things that go on in our life. Cup of tea. Right, shall we do it? Shall we move on and make us happy? SHEIN haul. SHEIN haul. I really, really, really don't think that I can do it. It's quite hard with a cold sore and without a mirror. But boy, oh boy, I just feel like a right scragamuffin today. Really do. I mean, look at that hair. That is slick. Pardon me. That is slick, slick, slickety, slick, slick. I always think you've never seen this before. I've never let my hair get like this. I do. I feel absolutely shocking, guys. Let's do something to make it look half pretty, because I don't feel like me. Very rare that people get to see me looking like this. Those spots are absolutely shocking. I don't think I've even got any foundation that I can put on them. Just have to excuse it. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat of drum. I am brave, I am true. This is who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. Right, okay, for those of you that wanted the SHEIN haul, you can click in now. I'm going to remember 32 minutes in. I'm going to pop that on there so that I can tell people that at 32 minutes in they can get the SHEIN haul. They may not want to watch the SHEIN haul because it's repeats, to be fair. I went and did a little SHEIN haul the other day after I'd got something and wanted more. So I'm going to show you what I got. Rustle, rustle, rustle. My doorbell's going to go in a minute because my son's home tutor will be here. The boy child has a home tutor at 2 o'clock and it's going to literally, the doorbell will go and then I'll have to cut off and come back on again. Just get things ready. Okay, got them all out. First thing I will show you is these. Like I said, I've had these before, so it is going to be a very quick SHEIN haul. They were £12 pieces for 91p. You get some string and you get 12. They are wooden cut nutcrackers. I'm going to go through them all really quickly, just in case you haven't seen them before. You might not have watched the other video, but I got some more because I liked them. Clock. And they are to hang on the Christmas tree, but I will use them as tags or I will make a garland out of them. So like I said, if you've watched it with the other one, you'll have seen these in there, but I bought some more and I actually got them cheaper at 91p because I like them. They're all wooden. And there's 12 pieces there. So that's that. Next is 4 of these, which I also have had before. Which are little, these are quite appropriate for today. They're little angels. and they are made, they're tassely. They've got little wings, wooden bead, quite simply made, but I just think you could have these on a Christmas tree, or you could have these hanging around your house. And I think these would be nice in a card, like a bereavement card, you know, where you say that someone in heaven is always watching you, or something like that. I'm going to do a little thumbnail with that one. Like I said, I bought some of these before, but I got some more because they were only 41p. Hang on a minute, I'm back. We have Winnie. Say hello. Winnie, say hello. Say hello. Oh, my phone's ringing now. One thing after another. One thing after another, Winnie, isn't it? Ring, ring. I'm actually filming you on a new phone because my phone ran out of storage to the extent that I had to get a new one. So I now have two phones, which is why you can hear it ringing. Yeah, so at least I'll never run out of storage again. So it's going to make it easier for me to upload my videos and take lots of footage and content and everything else like that. You can say bye-bye. Bye-bye. And put you down. Good girl. Right, let's carry on what we're doing. So I showed you the little thingamajiggies. The next thing I got, and I bought 4 lots of these. Yeah, Winnie's come running back now. They are bells. Winnie, no. You get 10 in a pack. Was it 10? Right, I got it wrong. Those little angels just now were actually only 28p. These bells, you get 10 for £1.36. So I have bought some before because the idea is, as you know, I do a Christmas event every year, and I like to put gifts on the table. And I decided after a SHEIN haul that I did a few, pardon me, excuse me, I just ate a chocolate bar. Yeah, I did a SHEIN haul a few weeks ago and got a pack of these, and I realised how brilliant they are. 10 for £1.36. So let's just say they're 10p each, these bells. And they say believe on them. So, you know, like from the Polar Express. So my idea was to do, for table decorations, Winnie. She's been so naughty. For table decorations. And this was the other thing that I got. And I got a small pack before of 10. But I looked on there and I got a pack of, let's have a look, 50 crackers for £3.11. So someone else do the maths for me. But it works out at not a lot. They work out at less than 10p each, these. Just getting them out. So you get all of these, and there's 50 of them. So it was the best way of buying if you want to bulk buy. So I have bought 4 packs of those, and I've already got a pack. So I've got 50 of those, and now I've got 50 of these crackers, little sweetie crackers. And they are big enough to fit it in. So I'm going to put a bell in each of these. Winnie, stop. She's trying to nip my things. And then when you bend this bit, which I haven't done, you're supposed to bend them, and then you can push them. Winnie, stop. Winnie, come here. And then what you have also got is, can I do it without dropping it? You have got all the ribbon. Has it been cut? Look at all this ribbon. I don't know if it's been cut or if they've just given you the whole thing. I think they must have been cut, but you tie them on the ends. Yeah? So basically, they work out at 20p, and I've got 50 of them, which means I can put them on the tables at my event, and then I'll put a little tag on, because I've got little wooden tags. And they'd just be a gift for you from me. So I just thought it's quite a nice little gift for a party. For £3 for all of those, bargain. So I just had to rebuy them. They only just fit. I had to buy them because I just thought, if I don't use, sorry, all this rustling. If I don't use these for the bells, I will use them for gifts or sweets anyway, because they're a bargain. But I could tie the bells onto presents. But I think them with like a little chocolate in those crackers and one of these is such a perfect little gift. I know, I'm so good and full of ideas, aren't I? Right, I've only got 3 more things. I told you this was only a little one. So the next thing I'm going to show you is a piece of jewellery. And it is a little heart necklace. I'm going to show you it here. So it's got little, can you see? That's the chain. And then that's the necklace. Oh, Winnie, come here. Winnie, come here. Can you see? Pretty, isn't it? Really pretty. And it was heart necklace. How much were you? 71p. So I think that's really cute. I think I'm going to put that in my gift drawer. Winnie, come here. You're okay. Shall I give you something to play with? Are you looking for something to play with? What have I got? What have I got? She just like destroys everything you give her. I can't find anything that I can give you that you won't. Let's see. Just to keep, because she's whimpering because she wants to go in the other room where my boy child is with his tutor, and she gets a bit annoying, so she can't go in there. Come here then. Come here. She doesn't want to come up. What do you want to do? Come here. Yeah, she just wants to go and be with them. So that was that necklace. I've only got a couple more bits and then we're done. Look out, 'cause here I come. This is cute. This necklace was 84p and I like it a lot. Should we put it on? I'll firstly show you. It's a dupe for something, isn't it? Tell me in the comments, because I can't remember what it is. But I like it. There we go. It's a nice long one. I just liked it because it was long. That's really nice. I think I've got another couple of necklaces up here. What's that one? Yeah, which are not the same, but that one. What's that one? Look, it's not the same, but you could wear it. Although it's a bit of what I call a cheap gold, that one. But I love the layering up effect. I like this one a lot. I think I'll keep this on right now. I do like it. I think it's a really nice length, and you can make it smaller too by that much. So that's a really pretty necklace for 84p. Pop that up there. And then I got one more necklace, which I've put down as a locket, but it's not a locket. It was 71p. And it's different. Oh, it's a bit tangled. It's very tangled. Let's hope I can untangle it. Is it more of a choker style? Okay, it's quite a choker style. Let's pop it on in a minute. Winnie, come here. So it is, that's the back. Winnie, no, that's the front. Swinging, isn't it? There we go. And it opens up. It's not a locket, but it's got a pearl in it. Not a real one, but a pearl. I just thought that was quite cute. It kind of caught my eye while I was browsing through, as you do. Let's pop it on. Once again, it's slightly cheap looking, but I think it would look good with the right outfit. And that is what that one is. And you can have it smaller than that, or I think I'd wear it more of a choker style. But I like it. And that one was, how much were you? I did just tell you, didn't I? Come here, Willie. Come here. It's a locket one. I put it down as 71p. So bargain. Right, I'm going to bring you down just a little bit so that you can see. Winnie, you can say goodbye, Winnie, because we're done. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I haven't put you off watching and listening to me, and I hope it wasn't too depressing. I didn't mean for it to be depressing. I just meant for it to be quite informative, so that people that are going through things can kind of relate. And, you know, if I can give any support or help to anybody, you can just inbox me. or email me on trixiestrialsandtribulations@gmail.com, then do, and I can private email you if you want to. That's fine. If I can help anyone with anything, you know, just a few words of wisdom, I will do so. Yeah, let's just carry on doing what we're doing and keep on carrying on, you know, onwards and upwards. We can do it. We just gotta be kind to each other, give a lot of love and support to each other, and do what makes us happy. And that's what I certainly do in life. I do what makes me happy, and I like doing this. That's it. Nothing else to be said other than thanks for watching. Thank you so much. Ta-ta for now.